What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Look at me getting my drag race review out all earlier on time. Normally y'all don't get this till Friday afternoon, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to knock it out. Anyway. Um, so it's season 11, episode 9. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hope you like this video. Check out my social media in the description box. So nobody got eliminated last week, so we didn't have to do the whole mirror and we talk about the person who left. We can just jump right into it. And one of the conversations that was had was, what can you now that we're in the top 8, we know the shit is tight. What can you do to do something different? And Miss Silky was like, I ain't doing shit different. Like, what I've done got me here, and I'm not gonna do anything different. I'm not gonna adjust. And of course, Miss Sugar Kane making comments in her confessional, and I don't mean no harm, Miss Sugar, but you might want to self-reflect. Not because you're doing a horrible job, but because nobody knows you're fucking there. I know I forget about you. I've looked at other reviewers and they say they forget about you. And then people even put it in my comments this week. Like, I forget about Sugar. Real talk. So, but I will say this, for the majority of the episode, Silky got on my nerves on the first episode, but I've grown to really like Silky. But one thing that came through really clear in this episode was her arrogance is going to get her. Now, in Untucked, I think she got humbled a little bit, and she realized maybe I am we'll get to that, but maybe I am taking some shortcuts or whatever. But excuse me, but it was definitely edited this week to show that Silky was getting a little overconfident, and maybe she got humbled a little bit. That's how I took it. So the mini challenge was that the library was open. These girls can't read. I mean, even Silky, who I was waiting for, I was like, I know Silky about to turn this shit. Silky was tired. Her reads were not funny. The person who I think killed it was Brooklyn, and that's who won the mini challenge. As a result, the maxi challenge was an improv. It was like they were doing a parody spoof of Cops, LAPD. I didn't write down what the LAPD stands for, but it's not for the Los Angeles Police Department. I should have wrote it down. My bad, y'all. I didn't. But I thought Brooklyn did a really good job with the read, okay? Now, she got to choose the partners. Of course, everybody thought she was going to choose Vanjie. No, she did not. She chose Nina West. And her reasoning makes sense. Look, at the end of the day, I can fall in love, but this is still a competition. And I'm pretty sure that her and Vanjie looked like she was a little disappointed, but I'm pretty sure that her and Vanjie have had those conversations like, look, whatever's happening between us is what's happening between us, but I still came here for a reason. And I'm sure that as long as they're not getting catty with each other, I'm sure that they understand all is fair, love and war, love and basketball, you know what I'm saying? But she got to choose the rest of the teams. So we had Silky, wrong list. We had Brooklyn and Nina, I told y'all that. Vanjie and Plastique, Akira and Evie, and Silky and Sugar. And what was funny was Miss Evie had a nerve to have some problems with this, talking about something. I feel like Brooklyn is pairing strong competitors with weak competitors. I feel like she's trying to give herself the upper hand. Bitch, that's what she's supposed to do. She won the mini challenge. She had an opportunity to pick the teams. She was supposed to pick the person that she thought was the best improv. Nina West won both the improv challenges. That's who she was supposed to pick. She was supposed to put you with somebody that she thought you weren't going to do good against, or you were going to be outshadowed. That is the whole purpose of saying you can pick the teams. We done had this conversation before. I don't know why people get mad when people use their advantages to their advantage. That's just dumb. Anyway, so the parody was that each group had a skit they had to do. So Brooklyn and Nina, they were basically trailer park trash. And one was a sunbather, the other one called the police on them. And Nina wanted to play the part as the sunbather, but Brooklyn sort of talked herself into playing that part. And everything they had kind of worked out they were going to do, Brooklyn didn't really do. And Nina's thing is, I'm not sure if that was, done on purpose, or if that just was happenstance to the way things went down. Like, I don't want to think Nina purposely tried to sabotage me, but at the same time, things that make you go, Vanjie and Plastique, they were playing alley cats. Vanjie was like the spice, the hood cat. Plastique was supposed to be like a what's the word I'm looking for? Oh shit. Anyway, she played more of like a Broadway. Golly, I couldn't get it out. Um, I'm gonna get to the critiques in a minute. Akira and Evie were twerkers, and it was like a instead of having being prostitutes and having a corner, they had twerk corners, and we'll get to that. And then Silky and Sugar were playing. Silky was selling bootleg butt pads out the trunk of her car, and Sugar was a disgruntled customer. All right, so here's the thing. Brooklyn did the damn thing. I'm sorry. Brooklyn did that. She did really well. She played the sunbather. She used her flexibility and her dancing to her advantage. Oh, the cops were played by Fortune Feimster and Cheyenne Jackson. Let me tell you, I love me some Fortune Feimster. I've loved her since Chelsea Lately. Y'all remember when Chelsea Handler had her show on Chelsea Lately, and Fortune was a regular guest on the show, and I've really grown to like her. So they played the cops. The other guest judge was Natasha Lyonne. So Nina did okay, but she said, when Brooklyn didn't give me my cues like we had practiced, it sort of threw me off. She held her own and she did okay, but Brooklyn definitely shone. But she needed that. First of all, she hasn't done well in the improv challenges, and certainly last week was a total bust for her. Ru came through the workroom, but nothing honestly is really standing out about the workroom conversations, to be honest. Basically, she was telling everybody, push yourselves, come out of your box, get out your comfort zone and just let it go and be free. And that's pretty much how that went down. Vanjie and Plastique, that shit was a hot buttered mess. A hot buttered mess. And I love Vanjie, but one of the things that the judges said, the critique was that you started here on 10 and there was nowhere to go. Vanjie came out the gate, bitch, taking off her earrings and stuff. There's nowhere to go. You didn't gradually allow yourself to work up to 10. You started at 10. There's nowhere to go. Plastique was just lost. I mean, Vanjie said that she gave Plastique, she told Plastique what to do if she went blank, which was basically, fall on the mercy of the court and sort of like, hug the police officer's leg. And that was the first thing that Plastique did. So Vanjie was like, so did you go blank at the, like, from the door? Because, again, I told her that was her safe, like, something that she could do when she just went blank. And she was like, that was the first thing she did. So it was like, okay. But the whole skit was just horrible. It was a mess. I mean, it didn't make sense. Were they fighting over? Vanjie had milk, talking about you was cheating with my man, and I came to get my milk back, and it didn't make sense. Their whole mindset, whatever they had worked out, clearly went out the window real early. Akira and Evie, honey, that was cute. That little twerk thing, it was really, really, really cute. You had Akira was sort of playing like an older, this is my corner. I've been working this corner for 20 years, and these young people think they can come and take my shit. And Evie played her, the young one, like, follow me on IG. I've got all these followers on IG. That whole millennial thing. And then it came out that Akira, see, I followed that whole skit. Akira had an affair with Marky Mark. Come to find out, Evie was Marky Mark's daughter, and talking about something. You're my daddy. That's my father. You're my daughter, and they hugged like they were really found each other, long lost. And Akira stole the show. Evie did a good job, but Akira did that. Akira was twerking from the time she started to the time she finished, but she kept in character as far as like an old lady. Like, she was like, her neck was, her legs were cracking, and she needed props, and it was cute. Akira did it. Akira did that. And again, she said, I had to step out of my pageant comfort zone and allow myself to get dirty. Because, pageants are very, and she said I had to just allow myself to get dirty. And it worked for her. She did really good. Silky and Sugar is what you would have expected it to be. Silky stole the show. Silky was funny. Silky was over the top. Silky carried it. Sugar did not stand a chance. And unfortunately, because Sugar, you always here, it was what I expected. The minute I knew that I saw them paired up, I said, there's nothing that Sugar's going to be able to do that she's going to be able to hang with Silky. Because, one, she can't hang with Silky like naturally, and two, Silky ain't gonna let her in. And that was one of the critiques from the judges was, Silky, you were funny, you were great and all of that, but you didn't give Sugar a chance to shine. Now, had they said that the top team was gonna be safe, I think Silky would have been a little bit more open to allowing Sugar to kind of shine a little bit. Because it was sort of every man for himself, Silky gonna do what Silky does, you know. So that's kind of how that went down. So the runway was facing fantasy or fracking fan. You know what they had to do? Like, remember last year when Rue had her face covered and she just had to paint to go with the face, and what was it? Was it facing fantasy? I think it was face fantasy. I wrote down facing fantasy, so I don't know if that's my handwriting I fucked up or my mind fucked it up. I literally just watched this episode, so I don't know why I can't remember. But you know, it was basically you're gonna have some sort of mask on, but but you're still giving some sort of lip and eye. Here's where the arrogance of Silky shone through, but here's also where she got humbled. Everybody else was doing their makeup and Silky wasn't doing shit. She dancing, she hanging out, she chilling in the workroom, and they were like, Silky, you girl, are you gonna get your? She said, all I gotta do is a lip. Like, I don't need to do my eye. My eyes, my whole face is gonna be covered. All I need to do is a lip. That ain't gonna take me all day. But you had girls that were doing their whole face because even though they were wearing a mask over, they were like, well, if I got a lip sync, I still need to have a mug on. And Silky was like, well, I ain't lip syncing. Like, after that performance, I know I ain't gonna be in the bottom. Yeah, okay, Silky. So they came out the runway. Silky was first. Silky was dressed like a rose. She had on a black outfit. She was carrying a can of Raid. And all you could see was her black lip. Now, I don't know if the producers put a bug in Michelle Visage's ear or if Michelle just really clocked Silky. Because the first thing she asked her was, do you have on any makeup underneath that? Like, did all you do was a lip? And I don't think Silky would have won the challenge, but I think Silky would have been I don't think Silky would have fallen where she fell had she done her face, because Michelle sort of called her out for it and told her, like, I feel like that was a cop out. Like, you could have given us something. Even though we weren't going to see your whole face, you could have done a little bit more. But the fact that I can tell that you don't have nothing on underneath that mask, nothing, no eye makeup, no nothing. She said, I feel like that was a cop out. And I feel like she didn't say the word disrespected the challenge, but in a way, you know, it was like I know I'm not going to be at the bottom, so let me just go on and do the easy and take the easy way out. Later on in Untucked, she admitted it and she said, you know, am I taking the easy way out? That's something I need to self-reflect on. Am I putting my best foot forward, or am I just letting my personality ride? And so all you can do is self-reflect. So she was self-reflecting and she realized what she was doing. But this whole episode was edited to make Silky look so arrogant and so overconfident, because she's supposed to be confident, but just overconfidence. Anyway, Sugar was beautiful. It was like a My Fair Lady type thing, the outfit, and it was like roses, and then her face perfectly matched. Her mask, the dress, her face, everything blended. It was like one long, and I thought it was really nice. Brooklyn, next to her, I wrote fire. She had this horse thing, and I loved Brooklyn's look. I thought Brooklyn's look was the best look. For me, it was the best look of the night. I loved her look. Nina West did us a little polka dot thingy bob, and you know, she had the she had done her whole face, even though she had the mask over top. I thought that was cute. Vanjie sort of had like a S&M vibe with the ponytail. Now, I'm glad that they didn't clock Vanjie for the corset. She did not have one on, however, or bodysuit, I should say. However, I felt like the pants didn't fit like they should. Like, if it was going to be a true S&M, them pants should have looked like latex that had to be slid on with some Vaseline. And I just don't think it was. But again, I didn't hate her look. I didn't hate her look. Plastique, she had on a fucking corset and she didn't cover her face. She had like a band that did like this, but you could see her whole face, and then she didn't even really paint it. I mean, she painted it, but she didn't it. And the judges clocked her for it and basically said that she totally missed the mark. She did not do the challenge at all. And I agree, she did not do the challenge. Akira, she had a bodysuit, and it was like marked up like if you were gonna have surgery, plastic surgery. And that was her little shtick, and I thought it was cute. I thought it was a really good twist on that whole thing because her whole body was marked up from head to toe, honey, on all the plastic surgery she was gonna get. It was cute. Um, Evie Oddly had like a slime monster thing going on, and the lips and all of that, and of course in her Evie shady ass, she had some. Nina said that she looked like Asia from last season. She was like, "Well, I look like the way Asia should have done it." Just take the fucking compliment and move on. So now you're gonna have Asia. I promise you, I'm gonna go to Twitter and Asia got something to say. I promise you that. Um. So overall, Akira won, which I agree with. I think Akira did the most. I think Akira did the best job because again, Suki did a good job, but it was what you would have. If Suki had not done a good job, it would have been more shocking than Suki doing a good job. So I think that Brooklyn stepped out of her box, but I think if I had to put Brooklyn next to Akira, I would have chosen Akira as well. So I'm fine with Akira winning. Um, but unfortunately, the bottom was Vanjie and Plastique. Now, they had to lip sync to Hood Boy by Fantasia, which is actually, I love that song. You know how you hear songs sometimes you forget about the song? Like, that's a song I forgot about from Fantasia, but I actually like that song. Um, and they lip sync or whatever, and I think both of them did a pretty decent job. No, neither one of them wowed me, but if I had to give a nod, it would have been to Vanjie, and that's who won. Unfortunately, Plastique went home. Now, let me tell you, them producers made a liar out of me because I just knew that they were gearing us up for Plastique to be in the top like they did last season with last season with now I can't think of her name now, but they rode her for a long time. The one that looked like the one that looked like she was 15 years old. What was that girl name? I can't remember now. Damn it. But I felt like week after week after week, no matter what she did, the judges, you could tell that they were trying to push her along. I can't think of her name. The one that got the drunk driving charge, and I hate to say that, but that's how I remember her. I can't remember her name now. Damn, I can't remember her name. But y'all, if y'all saw last season, I'm not talking about the All-Star season, I'm talking about season 10. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But yeah, so it was a good episode. Untucked wasn't that exciting. Silky got the message. Her brother, her mother and grandmother. And Silky played it so cool, like it ain't bother her. Like cause she said, I want to see my granny. Then when her granny popped up on the screen, she was just like, oh, yeah, she look good, But everybody is not a, hoot and holler type person, so, but she did say, it's good to see everybody. The actress Natasha Lyonne came back and they talked for a long time. There really was not a whole lot of conflict or a whole lot of mess with the Untucked. The only thing was Nina and Evie had a really good conversation, and Nina said to Evie, I appreciate your personality, your approach is what needs work. She said, you're not a bad person. I think you get an end rap. The commercial end game just popped up on my TV. I think you get a bad rap. She said, but you're young. Because she was like, well, what was your first impression of me, honestly? And she said, you were quirky, you were weird, and you were unpolished. But not in a bad way. Like, that's your thing. That's your shtick. She said, so, you're young, though, so your approach is not always the most friendly, for lack of a better word. She said, but you'll grow and you'll grow into it, and you're not a bad person. You just have to work on your approach. She said, you've come to me and you've given me critiques, and I didn't take it in a negative way, and I didn't feel like you were coming for me. She said, but I have seen other examples of bad approaches. And she was like, I appreciate it. I appreciate you talking to me and letting me know. And, she said, and I appreciate that you understand me and that you're not, you're not clocking me or giving me a hard time. So anyway, good episode overall. Plastique is gone, which, again, that shocked me, y'all. It shocked me because, like I said, I just knew the producers was setting us up for Plastique to be in the top 3, but they weren't. So Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.